I can't stay, yes I know, I hate to go, but goodbye, love was sweet, our worlds can never meet, so I'll cry just a little 'cause I love you so, and I'll die just a little 'cause I have to go away. Welcome, fellow beginner to intermediate guitar players, to a video on how to play Just a Little by the Beau Brummels. In my prior videos, I always assumed that you had learned the song's chords elsewhere, and I was just adding an easy intro or a break, maybe. But in this case, I could not find another video on how to play this song, and all of the chord apps, like for example Ultimate Guitar, they use slightly different chords and tabs. So I'm going to go through the whole song the way I learned it back in 1965 when it came out. And of course there were no chord apps or YouTube videos back then. For the lyrics though, the Ultimate Guitar version 1 looks correct, so you could grab the lyrics there or elsewhere. But again, note that my chords will be slightly different, as I will point out as we go along. So my guitar is in standard tuning and there's no capo for this song. And the chords for the intro and the verses is the same. And it's just A minor. And then an F, just using the bottom 4 strings, not a barred F chord. Then D. And then using that same F chord shape, moving it up to the 3rd fret to play a 4-string G. So again, that's A minor, F, D, and G. And when it's played to the rhythm of the song, it's something like... There's also a nice little bit before the chords of the intro that you can add, and it's fairly simple. You just take an open A minor shape, but using your middle ring and pinky finger, and you slide that up to where the pinky and ring finger are on the 12th fret where the double dots are. And then you also put your index finger down on the 1st string, and then you play those 4 notes like 8th notes. Then you play an open A string, and with your index finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, you pluck it and immediately hammer on the 3rd fret of the same string. And then you go into the chords of the intro. So then the whole intro would sound like this. So as I said earlier, the verse chords are the same as the intro. A minor, F, D, and G. And if you'll forgive my singing, it goes a little bit like, I can't stay, yes I know, I hate to go, but goodbye. Love was sweet, our worlds can never meet. So it goes through that A minor, F, D, G progression twice for each verse. The chorus is where my version differs from the various chord apps. I substitute some minor chords for major and 7th chords. It's a sad song, and minors are sad chords, so I think it sounds better with A minor and E minor instead of the G and E7th that you see in the chord apps. By all means, play it the other way if you like, because no two musicians play or sing the same song exactly the same way. So my version of the chorus looks like this. C, A minor, F, G, then C minor, A minor, F, E minor, A minor. And played at song rhythm would sound something like this. After the chorus comes the fun part, the riff, which I call a D minor to A minor slide. It sounds cool, it's relatively easy to play, and I think it's the hook that made the song a hit. At the end of the chorus, you take an open A minor shape up so that your ring and middle finger are on the 7th fret where the 3rd dot is. If you were to bar this chord like this, you'd be playing a D minor chord. But we're only going to play those 3 strings on the 7th and 6th frets. If you accidentally pluck the open E string at the bottom, that's okay. But we're going to try and just play those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. And so you just take this shape, and then you slide it down in steps from D minor to A minor, like this. Only just a little bit faster. And this riff is used several times after each chorus, after the instrumental break, which we're going to go into next. And I also use it as the outro and sometimes even the intro. So here's the chorus again with that riff added. Cry just a little 'cause I love you so, and I'll die just a little 'cause I have to go away. After the second chorus and the riff comes the instrumental break, which in the original is actually 2 guitars, an acoustic, and an electric with its amp's vibrato effect cranked up to the max. But we can pretty much do it all on 1 guitar. The break starts with the acoustic playing this, and then the electric slams in with, and back to the acoustic, and the electric. And then the acoustic repeats, and the electric the same. And then finally, so I'll go through this slower, and I'll also have a tab sheet at the end that shows this whole instrumental break. So you start with your index and middle fingers on the 2nd and 3rd frets of the D and A strings respectively, and you pluck those 2. Then you reach down with your pinky and just pluck the 5th fret of the A string. Then you lift it and your index finger off and pluck the open A and the D string with your index finger still down on it. So again, that's then you just come in with an A minor twice and the 4th string F. So the next bit starts the same way again, with your index on the 2nd fret of the D string and your middle finger on the 3rd fret. And you're going to do that same pinky stretch. You're going to pluck those 2 strings, then the 5th fret of the A string with your pinky, but this time your index finger is going to drop down to the 2nd fret of the G string, and you're going to pluck the open D in the G string like this. So that little bit then sounds like this and goes into 2 plucks of the D chord and 1 of the 4-fingered G. Then we just repeat that first part again. And we start off the same way for the finish, with that open D and index on the 2nd fret of the G string. But this time we go the 2 strums of the D, but then we go up to the 2 strings of E minor on the 2nd fret of the A and D string, make 2 plucks of that, and then so that's then 2nd fret of the D string, then open D string, 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the A string, and then open. And then that leads you right back into 1 more of those D minor, A minor slides to end the instrumental break. And that takes us into the last verse and the last chorus. After the last chorus comes the slide again, followed by the instrumental break again, followed by the slide again, and then I usually use that last D minor, A minor slide as my outro, ending with an arpeggiated A minor. So that would go something like... But if you want to do it like the original, you can play the 4-chord intro again, the way they do it in the original, and use that as the outro. As promised, here's a tab sheet for the break, and it also has my verse and chorus chords noted on there. And if that pinky stretch in the break is just too far or too hard for you at first, I've also included a no pinky single note version of the break below the original version. And you can pause the video here and to copy it or play it. I hope you enjoyed this video on Cry Just a Little. And with a little practice, I'm quite positive that you'll be playing it better than I do. So thanks again. Bye.